Welcome back to Clay Pigeon here in Dorchester for round 2 of the Cool FAB Racing British Minibikes Championship. It's the Minimoto Pro race up next. At Llandau last time we had 3 different winners in each of the 3 races, and I caught up with all of them earlier. So Johnny, race winner in the first Minimoto Pro race of the weekend at Llandau. Reverse the positions with Mason in race 2. Just talk us through those first couple of races first of all.
Well, in race 1 it went all well, I got in the lead. Race 2, I was getting all wobbly on the back of Mason, and then I lost the front, and then loads of people passed me, so I got back on the bike, passed them all, and then Sullivan and Troy were all the way up in front, and Sullivan bike accidentally hit Troy and they went onto the grass, and then Mason the leader, he was all the way up in the front, and I was in second, so I was just cruising because I had a massive gap. So
did you fall off the bike in that second race then?
Yeah.
So that was a great comeback, but then unfortunately, race 3, what happened there, DNF?
Yeah, I was in the lead. On the last couple of laps, I high-sided, I took Mason off, and we were, so like I said, he came first in the second race, and I came first in the first race, and he came second in the first race, and I came second in the second race, and we were drawing in the points, and we both got a DNF, but he had a faster lap time.
Okay, so that's left Sullivan Mountsie ahead in the championship. What do you think of Clay Pigeon here? Have you been here before?
No, I think it's actually everyone's first time here. It's a bit bumpy, but it's a really big, nice track.
Okay, well, good luck today.
Thank you.
Mason, good first round for you. Could have been great. Unfortunately, race 3 went a bit pear-shaped, but just talk us through the first 2 races. Second in race 1, but the win in race 2.
Yeah, so the first race, my dry bike wouldn't start, so I had to go on my wet bike with wet tyres and wet setting in. So I couldn't go any quicker than Johnny.
But in that second race, obviously on the Sunday, you took the win in race 2, so a good result for you there.
Yeah, it was a good race, and obviously Johnny crashed, so it was a bit easier for me to take the win.
Yeah, and he did well to come back for second, but what about race 3, a DNF though? That's pretty much cost you and Johnny, you both DNF'd I think in that one, so Sullivan's got the championship lead. What happened there?
So basically, Johnny crashed in front of me, and so I ended up hitting him in the bike.
Okay, Clay Pigeon this weekend, what are you hoping for?
Hoping for 3 podiums, maybe challenging for the win.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
Troy, you took the win in the third race at Llandau, but just talk us through your problems in the first 2 races, because we never saw you in the televised race, did we?
Well, first race, they had the lights too long, then my clutch got burnt out, then I don't know what happened next. I think air was leaking into the engine, then they had no power at all, so I just had to put in.
But you obviously sorted the problem out for the third race. Great win for you. This weekend at Clay Pigeon, first time here, is it?
Yeah.
What do you make of the track, and can you follow up on that momentum from the third race win last time? Can you take some wins this weekend, do you think?
I feel pretty confident. I like the track and feel like I'm going to be on here quite a few times.
Okay, well, good luck today.
Thank you.
Well, those were the 3 winners at Llandau, but the man that joins me, Mr. Consistency, is Sullivan Mountsie, and you are the championship leader. Now, just talk us through that weekend from your point of view.
It was a good weekend. It was a bit hard to keep up with Mason and Johnny, but I was 2/3. If I can get another third or a fourth, I'll get third overall. But then Mason and Johnny crashed out, which was a shame, which got me to be leading the championship.
And as I said before, consistency is the key, so just staying there or thereabouts, you never know what can happen, and obviously it all went pear-shaped for them in that last race, giving you the championship lead. But Clay Pigeon this weekend, what are you making of the track? Obviously first time here.
I like this track the most because it's got a fast left-hander coming out of the final corner, which is going into a right-hander, and that's probably my favourite bit about the circuit.
Yeah, down at Billy's Blind. We normally see a lot of crashes down there at Billy's Blind in karting, I know. I'm not sure what it's going to be like this weekend in the bikes. But other than that, plenty of overtaking on the track, I guess.
Yeah, there's going down the straight, Summer Straight. That's a good block pass point, which I can use to overtake everyone.
Okay, well, we'll be looking out for you.
Thank you.
Let's have a look at that Minimoto Pro race, starting with the grid positions. This is round 2, Clay Pigeon, race 1 for Minimoto Pro. The grid looks like this. It's Mason Foster on pole, 1 podium and 1 race win from round 1. Johnny Garnes, the same, 1 podium, 1 race win. He goes off P2. Off P3, it's the championship leader, Sullivan Moutsey, 3 podiums at round 1, the 10-year-old. Troy Jeffrey goes off P4, 1 race win at the opening round. James Rose Jr. comes next, a podium at the opening round, he goes off P5. Off P6, it's Luca Hopkins on the 41 bike, the 9-year-old from York. Off P7, it's Kyle Payne riding the 25 bike, he's 10 years of age from Thatcham. Off P8, it's Harrison Desoy riding the 55, 12 years of age from Thurrock. The 8-year-old from Wokingham is Taylor Stewart Campbell, rides the 97 bike. Going off P10, it's Harrison McKay riding the 61, the 9-year-old from Lincoln, 11 years of age from Swindon, new to the championship. For this round, it's Mikey Hardy riding the 113. Clayton Edmonds rides the 146. He's just 8 years of age from Uxbridge. Ron Chopper Harris goes off P13, unlucky for some. He's 10 years of age from Oxfordshire. Alfie Davidson rides the 8 bike, 9 years of age from Leyland. Alessandro Valenti comes next off P15. He's riding the 82 bike. Riding the 27 bike, it's Orlando Phillips. How does he see with that hair? Jamie Woodcock comes next, riding the 17, the 12-year-old from Northwich. He's going off P17, off P18. It's Kayden Watson riding the 45 machine. Coming next, it's Ben Jolliffe. He goes off P19 on the 125 bike, 10 years of age from Portland. The 7-year-old is Ethan Sparks. He goes off P20. Off P21, it's Keaton Payne riding the 12 bike. And rounding out the grid, it's Jayda Howe on the 50 bike. She's 11 years of age from Ipswich. Here's my esteemed colleague, the legend that is Jake Sanson.
It's very kind of you, Alan. Legend, I'd have said leg end myself. Anyway, there's a bit of creeping off the line. 2 or 3 bikes, and I think James Rose Jr. has got a cracking start in there behind Garnes and Foster up to 3rd position. Big question is, was that a jump start? I'm not entirely sure. We'll leave that one to the officials, but he's now having to try and stretch out the gap to get away from Troy Jeffrey because the 2 leaders have disappeared. Jeffrey's not having any of it. Jeffrey up the inside. He takes Rose Jr. up into 3rd position into Hans Hairpin for the first time. And as they go through the horseshoe, Sullivan Moutsey's now putting James Rose Jr. under pressure, but the leaders, Garnes and Foster, are disappearing. There's the 44 in 5th position. Sullivan Moutsey leading the championship at the moment.
And then we've got the man in 3rd place now, Troy Jeffrey, who won that 3rd race at round 1. Race 3 had a bit of a nightmare in the televised race. We never saw him at all. That's Johnny Garnes out front with Mason Foster in behind.
Was that Moutsey up to 4th position on James Rose Jr.? I think he's got there.
Yeah, I think he is. There he is, through the S's. That is Sullivan Moutsey. So championship leader up to 4th place.
And now he's looking at 3rd.
Can't quite get it done on Jeffrey.
My word, Sullivan Moutsey's had his Weetabix this morning. We've got yellow flags because we've got a rider off the bike at Buttons, trying to get the bike restarted, of course. But there obviously no overtaking at that point. I can't quite see who it is that has gone down the order. But in this very hectic and competitive grid, there's obviously going to be a lot of riders trying to get one up on the others. But out in front, it is still Garnes and Foster. Jeffrey still there in 3rd position. Moutsey giving him all sorts of pressure, though. Look, squabbling all over the back of the bike as he tries to get through on the far side of the fairing. But he's not quite got the space to make it stick. Then in 6th position, behind James Rose Jr., That looks to me like Kyle Payne is still in there at the moment. Then it's Hopkins and Desoy. Great riding all the way through this field, all the way back to the 45. We just picked him up there. Kayden Watson still trying to make up places. But what a battle this is. Absolutely terrific between these two as they ride for third position. Jeffrey versus Mountsey.
Jeffrey, race winner last time. Mountsey, championship leader. Looks like Mountsey's going to go past sometime soon.
Garnis and Foster, Jeffrey in third from Mountsey, Rose Jr., Payne, Hopkins and Desoy. Then we've got McKay, Clayton Edmonds is in there next. And I think we've got Taylor Stewart Campbell trying to make up progress as well as he battles away with Ronnie Harrison. I think it was Alfie Davidson that came off the bike at Buttons and is trying to get started again. But I don't think that's going to happen. Battle for fifth position as they head down to the hairpin. Up on the inside, trying to make the move. Not going to happen yet. Kyle Payne having a look to try and get past James Rose Jr. And up the inside. That is an absolutely terrific pass from Luca Hopkins. Up into P6. Terrific riding. Now Desoy is going to want to try and get the same move done on Kyle Payne as the leaders are coming up to traffic already. Is that through on the inside? I think it is. So a great battle, Jeffrey and Mountsey. Then we've got fifth place, Rose Jr. from Hopkins. Desoy has gone through. So Payne is down to 8th position, but he will come back fighting.
Great battles all the way through the field. This is the battle for fifth place here as they come out of the S's onto Sturmey Straight and down into Hans Hairpin. Great overtaking opportunity. Luca Hopkins looking down the inside. He hasn't actually made that stick. No, he's still there in 6th place. And looking back on the chasing group, that's Harrison McKay.
So I think moving up into position as well behind him is Taylor Stewart Campbell. So he's making up progress, which is great news for him and looks like a top 10 finish very much in the offing. But watch this battle as these four riders continue to hustle each other around the circuit. We've just had Kayden Watson, I'm afraid, down at Billy's Blinds, so we can expect yellow flags. There it is, Kayden Watson. Now that is the bike in the middle of the road, I should point out, not Kayden. Kayden is off the road and is up and about, so that is good news. But Kayden Watson's bike stranded in the middle of the circuit. Brave Marshall's going out there to get it moved, but that is what happens, unfortunately, sometimes in Minimoto Pro. Now we're at the phase of the race where the riders are having to deal with traffic as Jeffrey gets a little bit held up there. Mountsy's definitely made up some ground. Rose Jr. in the front of his battle, of course, for 5th place, with Hopkins, Desoy and Payne very close in there. Now, what's going to be interesting is how they deal with the traffic, how they sort each other out, and how they gain places. So Mountsy in behind Jeffrey, they've got through no problem. But now we've got James Rose Jr. knits it through no problem. Hopkins through at Billy's Blind as well. Desoy is through. And who was that they were lapping at the time, actually?
That was Keaton Payne, Jake. Keaton Payne. There he is, just going through.
Up towards Hans Hairpin come this 5th place battle once again, and still James Rose Jr. is able to hang on in front of Luca Hopkins, although it's only a matter of time before that changes. Meanwhile, the leaders are out of Top Bend and over the pit straight, and I think going through the traffic has actually benefited Mason Foster more than it has Johnny Garnis. He's actually got the gap down a little bit. Meanwhile, these two, Troy Jeffrey and Sullivan Mountsey, are still practically side by side. They've been that way for the last 3 laps or so. Then we've got this 5th place battle. James Rose Jr. still just there in front of Hopkins and Desoy. But look, Mason Foster is a lot closer to Garnis. He's got through the traffic much better than the race leader, and it's slashed Garnis's lead in half.
Through Hans Hairpin out into the horseshoe. We've got the traffic in front. This could determine the outcome of the race here. To come left-handed now up into the right-hander at Buttons. This track, of course, where Jensen Button started his karting career. He lived just up the road from this track, of course, and going through the traffic now, that is Garnis who gets past. Foster gets past as well. Garnis needs to make quick work of the traffic to make sure he doesn't lose this gap. Here's that battle between Troy Jeffrey and Sullivan Mountsey, championship leader.
Hang on a minute. Who's that?
That's Luca Hopkins.
That's Hopkins. Hopkins is through into 5th position on Rose Jr.
But not for long.
Oh no, Rose Jr. straight back on the inside. So Hopkins had him for a moment, but Rose Jr. said, don't think so, mate. This is at least going to be my winning battle.
Cracking racing down the field. This battle for 5th place arguably the battle on the track, but Luca Hopkins looking to try and go around the outside. Meanwhile, the championship leader, Sullivan Mountsie, trying to convert fourth into third and hold on to his championship lead.
That's what I love about this championship. Even the leader in the standings doesn't always have his own way. Now, this is into the last lap. Look how much closer Foster is to our race leader, Johnny Garnes. He's only got one lap to do it. I don't quite think the gap is small enough to try anything on this last lap. But again, it's all been about reading the traffic. And in the latter stages of this race, Garnes lost some of his advantage earlier on. But in the latter stages, he has gained the ground. Although Foster has set the fastest lap of the race on a 43.206. But this is going to be all fine and dandy for Johnny Garnes. Hanging on through the traffic is how you win these races, and Garnes is going to get there. Foster, if he had a couple more laps, he might have had a say in it. He's trying everything, but it's going to be Johnny Garnes. He gets the flag, he gets the win. Foster is there in second position behind him. Valiant effort. Jeffrey is just going to hang on in front of Mountsie. There they come. Jeffrey does seal third place in front of Mountsie. Fifth position. Who's going to get this? I think it's going to go the way of Rose Jr. though, just in front. Oh, so close. Hopkins, Desoy, and Kyle Payne in pursuit.
The official top five looks like this then. The podium filled by Johnny Garnes, Mason Foster and Troy Jeffrey, with Sullivan Mountsie and James Rose Jr. rounding out the top five. Johnny Garnes went on to win race 2 on Sunday. Mason Foster race 3, which leaves the championship looking like this. Johnny Garnes has the championship lead by 5 points from Mason Foster. Sullivan Mountsie drops out of the championship lead down to third place, with Troy Jeffrey and Kyle Payne moving into the top 5. Join us for more in part 3.